Some cars weren't banned because they were too fast. They were banned because they were too dangerous.
These vehicles didn't just break records, they broke bones, laws, and lives.
Engineers called them experiments. Governments called them threats. Families called them nightmares. These are the machines that crossed the line and were erased from the roads. Welcome to Hidden Wheels. This is Category 1, Part 2. In the 1970s, America wanted cheap cars, and Ford delivered at a terrible cost. The Ford Pinto had a fuel tank so poorly designed that even a low-speed rear collision could cause it to explode. Internal documents showed that Ford knew about the flaw and calculated that paying legal settlements would be cheaper than fixing the car. Once the truth came out, the Pinto became a symbol of corporate negligence. Its reputation was torched, quite literally, and it stands as a stark reminder of profits placed before people. This small SUV looked harmless, but in reality, it was a rolling risk. The Suzuki Samurai had an extremely high rollover risk. In sudden steering movements, it could flip completely over. Consumer safety reports destroyed its reputation overnight. It wasn't technically illegal, but it became one of the most avoided vehicles in North America. Its name became a warning. The friendly, fun-sized exterior hid a dangerous secret, and the public quickly learned that sharp turns could have devastating consequences. This car scared even the U.S. government. The Chevrolet Corvair used a rear-engine design and dangerous suspension geometry. A single sharp turn at speed could send the car into an uncontrollable spin. Lawyer and activist Ralph Nader published a book titled Unsafe at Any Speed, which specifically targeted the Corvair's fatal flaws. After national outrage and intense scrutiny, the car was effectively killed. It became a landmark case in automotive safety history, proving that public outcry could force an entire industry to change. This three-wheeled British car became a joke and a danger. The Reliant Robin had a single front wheel and a dangerously high center of gravity. In corners, it tipped over. In crosswinds, it tipped over. In emergency braking, it tipped over. It became one of the most unstable cars ever legalized. While it's now a pop culture icon famous for its comedic tumbles, the reality for drivers was far from funny. It was a vehicle that fought against the very laws of physics and often lost. This exotic Italian-American hybrid looked perfect, but inside, it was chaos. The Tomaso Pantera combined sleek Italian design with powerful American V8 muscle. The problem? It was a mechanical nightmare. Brakes would fade dangerously at high speeds. Cooling systems routinely failed, leading to engine overheating. The electronics were notoriously unreliable. Many were taken off the roads after repeated, dangerous failures, proving that a beautiful exterior can't always hide a flawed heart. This version of the Diablo was never meant for public roads. The Lamborghini Diablo GTR was a purebred racer, stripped down and amplified for the track. It had aggressive racing brakes and a race-only suspension so stiff and unforgiving that it was completely unsuitable for civilian streets. It was so extreme that most countries refused it road certification. It remained a car built only for wealthy collectors, and the controlled environment of the racetrack, a beast too wild to be tamed for public consumption. This car became a global punchline. The Yugo GV was sold as the cheapest new car in America. But cheap came with a hefty price. Parts literally fell off while driving. Brakes were known to fail without warning. Its acceleration was so dangerously slow that merging onto highways became a terrifying gamble. Accidents became common, and its American reputation collapsed completely. It wasn't just a bad car. It was a symbol of catastrophic failure in the automotive world. Some cars weren't dangerous at birth. They became dangerous later. Millions of vehicles from numerous brands were recalled in the US, UK, Canada, and across the globe because of Takata Airbags. These devices were meant to save lives. Instead of protecting drivers, the airbags exploded with excessive force. Metal shrapnel was propelled into faces and necks, causing severe injury and death. This remains the largest and most complex automotive recall in history, a terrifying betrayal of trust. The idea was brilliant, a tiny city car for tight European streets. But early versions of the smart Fortwo performed poorly in crash safety tests, especially against larger vehicles. On highways, their short wheelbase made them feel unstable and vulnerable to crosswinds. In side impacts, occupants had very little protection. Many countries were forced to update their safety regulations because of microcars like this, highlighting the unique dangers they posed in a world of much larger vehicles. This car looked like a Ferrari, but behaved like a time bomb. Early Pontiac Fiero models had a critical flaw that led to engine fires caused by poor oiling and cooling design. Cars literally caught fire while being driven. The image of a Fiero burning on the side of the road became its unfortunate legacy. The issue was later fixed in subsequent model years, but its reputation for spontaneously combusting never recovered, and the brand was forever scarred. These weren't just accidents. They were warnings. Warnings about speed. Warnings about greed. Warnings about what happens when safety is ignored. These cars weren't banned for being fast. They were banned for being failures. This was Category 1, Part 2 of Forbidden Machines. Only on hidden wheels.